Hey guys, so today I'm filming my Project Use It Up 2016/Project 50 Pan Update number 1. If you guys have not seen my intro, I'll have that video linked up here. Please make sure you check down below in the description box. I have a ton of information. I will link for you all of the project pans I have done so far in 2016. I will also have all of the items listed and linked down below, and I will have videos from several of my friends who are doing this type of video as well. So this update is super duper late, so you're going to have two updates kind of close together. So in this update, I'm going to be showing you the progress on all of the items in my Project Use It Up 2016, and I will be showing you all of the makeup products that I completed in February and March. Starting with my Project Use It Up items, in the months of February and March, I did hit my goal on 3 items. The first 2 would be some ColourPop shadows. So I mentioned in my intro that I wanted to hit pan on Bill and 2 other ColourPop shadows. So I have hit pan on 2 ColourPop shadows, which is pretty exciting for me. So the first one I have hit pan on is Bill, which is a gorgeous light mauve tone that I love using as a transition or crease shade. This is one of the matte finishes, and I feel like once I've gotten down to this far in the pan, it started to change the texture a little bit and be even more creamy. The other shade I have hit pan on is Snapdragon, which is a beautiful bright shade, and hopefully you can see the pan there, and this is a matte shade as well. I think I hit pan on this one quickly because of the brush I was using with this one. I was really focusing in the center and just going away at it. So really happy that I have hit pan on 2 of 3 ColourPop shadows. And the last item for my Project Use It Up that I have completed within this update is the Lorac Take a Brow Kit in Blonde. I have completely used up this lightest shade here. This shade is too dark for me, so I will now be getting rid of this. So this is more of a warm tone blonde brow kit, which I do really like. I love having a cool tone and a warm tone option. This powder was so incredibly pigmented. I think it did a fantastic job of filling in my brows. I will absolutely be repurchasing this. It is totally worth the money, and I never have heard anybody else talk about this. My friend Lucy sent this to me a while ago, and I really fell in love, so I highly recommend this. So now to show you the progress and the other items I have in my Project Use It Up, starting with the Maybelline Master Conceal in the shade Fair. I haven't used this one single time, but I am waiting for it to arrive in the mail, but I did order a couple empty lip gloss tubes so that I can transfer the product from this container to that container, and then I will start using this. So hopefully by next update we will see some pretty good progress. I'm excited to use this up because I just don't like this. Moving on to my 2 under eye setting powders I have in this challenge. First is the MAC Shaping Powder in Emphasize. If you guys remember in my intro, I had a lot more pan showing. Since then I have repressed and also hit pan again on the powder. This is one of my all-time favorite powders for brightening under the eye. It does a fantastic job, and it works out really well on my fair skin. If you are more tan, it's going to be a lot more dramatic on you. You just have to be careful with how much you apply, but I really love this. The other powder I have is my Nye Cameo Powder. So this is roughly where I am. This first line is from the intro, and this second line is where I am now. I've used up quite a bit of this. So it's kind of difficult for me to get the product out of this container, so I've actually been keeping it in this Sonia Kashuk container so that it's just easier to apply. So I have actually been using the combination of these 2 powders every day. I am taking the Beauty Blender and setting under my eyes with this powder. Then I'm taking a little bit of this on a brush right at this point, brushing it up towards the eye so it's not too intense right under the lash line to help brighten. So this combo I'm really enjoying right now, and it's a great way to get use out of both of these items. My next item is my NYX Jumbo Pencil in the shade Milk. So this line here is from the intro, and this is where I am now. Honestly, this is absolutely going to be finished by the next update. I need to sharpen this, and I think after this last sharpen, it will be donezo. So I'm going to use as much as I can. This is a great brow bone highlight. Again, if you're very fair, I find that it does blend out pretty well. I personally do not like using this as an eye base because it creases on me terribly, so I've been using it up as a brow bone highlight. My next product is my Maybelline Color Tattoo in Bad to the Bronze. I have used this probably 3 or 4 times just as a base. I'm wearing it on my eyes today, but I haven't focused on this. I'm going to try to use this one up in the summer. So now moving on to the lip products. First, I have the Revlon Super Lustrous Lipstick in the shade Primrose. As you can tell, I've definitely made a ton of progress on this one. This is in my Finish 6 by Summer Challenge. I'll have that playlist linked up here in case you want to check that out. This should be done by the next update, I'm assuming. I have been trucking through this. This is my all-time favorite lipstick. I love the formula and the color. It's a beautiful blue tone pink, but I find it to be very, very wearable. It is not the longest lasting, but it is super comfortable on the lips and really easy to reapply throughout the day. Then I have my Buxom Full-On Lip Polish in Sandy. This line is where I started, and I am just a little bit below the line. I've worn this probably 5 or 6 times since my last update. This is my all-time favorite nude lip gloss. I love the formula. I love the shade. I definitely will repurchase this when I use it up. I'm probably going to focus on this one during the fall time. Then I have my 4 Revlon Just Bitten Kissable Balm Stains. I have Honey, Cherish, Darling, and Crush. The only one I've worn in the past 2 months has been Darling. I wore this once and applied it 4 times throughout the day, and I don't know if I made any actual progress on it, so I haven't been working on these a ton. I'm mostly focusing on that Revlon lipstick right now. That is my main priority, but hopefully I will get some good use out of these products this year. So now moving on to all of the makeup products that I finished in the month of February and March. Honestly, I finished up a crap ton of things. I'm really, really excited about it. Happy to have all these things moved out of my collection and working towards my goal of using up 50 items this year, which honestly I think will not be a problem. So including all of my empties from January, February, and March, I have already finished up 30 items, which is crazy. So yeah, I'm absolutely confident I will finish up 50 makeup items this year. And then once I hit that 50, I am going to take away the products that were featured in my Project Use It Up and then try to get 50 items, not including those, which again, I don't think should be a problem considering how well I'm doing so far. So instead of showing you guys the products by what month I use them in, I'm going to show you them based on the category of makeup. Within the months of February and March, I finished up 4 different primers. 3 of them are samples and 1 of them is a travel size. So first I finished up an Estee Lauder matte primer. I do really enjoy it. I think it does a nice job. It is a really nice lotion consistency that's easy to blend out on the skin. Compared to the Makeup Forever matte primer, I definitely prefer the Estee Lauder. I don't know if I would repurchase this because I definitely want to try out more primers, and I have several primers in my collection I need to use up first, but I did really enjoy it. And I had used up a sample of the Benefit Porefessional Matte Rescue. It was a really interesting gel consistency. I don't think it did a thing for me, at least nothing significant, so I would definitely not repurchase it, but I'm glad I was able to try it out. Then I finished up a little foil packet sample of the Kat Von D Lock-It Featherweight Primer. This is a very, very simple, light, lotiony consistency primer. Didn't do a darn thing for me, so I definitely would not repurchase this one. Then I finished up the travel size of the Smashbox Photo Finish Pore Minimizing Primer. I absolutely love this. It is my favorite pore minimizing primer. I have a travel size that I'm using right now, and for some reason I feel the consistency is different between the two, which I don't love. I'm not loving it as much. I'm not sure if the formula changed or I just got a bad tube. I'm going to use it up, and then I think I might try the Makeup Forever Smoothing Primer. I've heard amazing, amazing things about that, so I think that's what I'm going to try next, but this is my current favorite primer for pores. Then I used up 1 concealer. This is the Maybelline Superstay Better Skin, and I have the shade 10 Ivory. I did take out the stopper and everything to get out every little last bit of this. I don't understand the hype about this concealer whatsoever. Honestly, this gave like light coverage for me, and it was a little bit thicker, easy to blend out, but for as thick as it was, it didn't give hardly any coverage, so I'm not impressed with this at all. Also, this shade matched my skin tone perfectly, and this is the lightest shade. There is not a shade I can use to highlight, which is a huge bummer, and actually it's pretty typical for me. I have a really hard time finding concealers light enough, so that is a bummer, but I'm not impressed by this whatsoever. I will not repurchase this. I do not get the hype. I would much rather use the Maybelline Fit Me or the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. I think both of those concealers are fantastic. Then I finished up 5 powders. I know, that's absurd, but you guys know how oily I am. I used up 5 powders within those 2 months. I don't know whether to be proud or ashamed. So the first one I finished up is the e.l.f. Prime and Stay Finishing Powder. I use this as a priming powder. I don't notice that it really did anything for me. It did feel nice in the skin, so I would use my regular primers, then go on with a light dusting of this, the big fluffy brush, and then apply my foundation. It didn't make my foundation look bad putting it over top of a powder. It has a really nice consistency. If you want to try it out, it was $2, which is a great price for something that is pretty unique in my opinion. So I would not repurchase this. It didn't do anything for me, but it was really cool to try out. Next, I finished up a tester of the Estee Lauder Double Matte Powder in the shade Transparent, which I do not believe is being sold anymore, not the transparent shade, but the regular shades in the line have very, very little color to them, so you can still use those to touch up without getting cakey. This is a really, really nice powder. It did do a great job of combating oil. It was great to touch up throughout the day, but I would not repurchase that for the money. I also finished up my Holy Grail touch-up powder. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte in the transparent shade. I've tried a couple of different touch-up powders, and this is the only one that really, really works well for my skin. I do not like this as a setting powder. I only use this as a touch-up. I have repurchased this already. Absolutely love this. It's only a couple bucks. Speaking of setting powder, I have a loose and a press that I have finished up. First is the NYX Mineral Set It Don't Fret It in the shade Light Medium. The shade is not perfect for me. It's a little bit deep, but if I go in with a light dusting, it works really well. This is a fantastic powder that just glides over lines and pores without settling or accentuating them. This is a powder that I have repurchased, and I probably will repurchase it again in the future, but I way prefer pressed powders over loose. Then for my pressed powder, I finished up the NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat in the shade Ivory. This is the perfect color for me. Very, very fair and yellow. This is my all-time favorite face powder. This one and the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless are absolute holy grails to me. Definitely recommend this if you have combination or oily skin. It helps give coverage and mattify. So even though I used up 5 powders, I had a priming powder, 2 touch-ups, 1 loose face powder, and 1 pressed face powder. My next face product is kind of random. This is the e.l.f. On the Spot Blot Mattifying Blotting Papers. The longest name ever, but I love this product. I would consider this holy grail status to me. It is such a unique take on blotting papers. In my experience, not all blotting papers are created equally. I find that several of them tend to pick up my makeup and really disturb it, and I would rather have just not blotted in the first place. But these do a great job of soaking up the oil without messing up my makeup. I also think the packaging is super unique. You do have a really nice mirror in here, which I actually do use. And the way that you blot your skin is that you have this little puff that the blotting sheets stick to, and then you just press it onto your skin. I absolutely love that. I was thinking this product was going to be gimmicky, but it actually works really well. I think this item is $5. If you are able to get it on sale, highly recommend it. Next time I'm able to get it on sale or free shipping, I'm going to stock up on these because they're absolutely amazing. And the last face item, which I believe I showed you guys in the intro, but in case not, this is my MAC Fix Plus spray. I do love this item. I've had it for a while. It used to be one of my holy grails, and now I realize it's not a must-have. It does do a great job of making my skin look less powdery, which I love, but I don't use this as a priming spray or a setting spray or anything like that. It is a nice item, but I'm not going to be repurchasing this because it's not necessary. So now moving on to brow products, I have 4. Like I mentioned, I did use up the Lorac Take a Brow Kit in Blonde, which is one of my favorite brow powders. I also used up my NYX Eyebrow Shaper Wax Pencil, which was so exciting for me because this item takes me like a year to finish up. It is what it says, a wax pencil. I use it as a base before I apply any other brow products, and this just really, really helps the brow powders and pencils stick to my brow hair. I find this essential in my routine. I also finished up the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer in the shade Blonde. I don't really know why, but I put it back in the packaging, and I used this thing up in a month, which is absolutely ridiculous. I had a terrible time getting this to draw onto my skin. I would go over and go over and go over, and it was such a faint line that I wasted so much product going over the same spot over and over again. I know a lot of people really like this. I do not. I much prefer Anastasia Brow Wiz and the NYX Micro Brow. They are a similar size tip, but the formula is totally different in my opinion. Those two work really well for me. This one, waste of money, will not repurchase. Then I finished up my NYX Tinted Brow Mascara in the shade Blonde. Right now I'm using the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Plumper in light medium, and I think that's nice, but it made me realize this is holy grail to me. This is a fantastic, fantastic shade. It is cool tone and it is super light. So the size of the wand I think is great. It's not too small, not too big. I did not have any trouble applying this to my brows. So the reason I love this product so much is because of the color and the formula. When I apply this to my brows, it emphasizes every single brow hair. You guys know my brows are a little bit intense with the way that I draw them on. So this makes them look a little bit more natural and not so painted. So I love that. Even though they're very structured, they are still strong and intense. They look a little bit more natural when I use this because you can actually see the brow hairs. I absolutely love this. I am going to be purchasing this for sure. Now moving on to eye products. I finally finished up my Milani eyeshadow primer. I've been using this for a year and a half, 2 years, somewhere around there, which is absurd. And I've been using it every single day. You just need such a tiny amount of this. This is my all-time favorite holy grail eyeshadow primer. If you have oily lids, hopefully this will work for you. If not, I know the NARS eyeshadow primer is supposed to be amazing. A little too expensive for me, and this definitely does the job. It makes my eyeshadow last longer without creasing. Highly recommend this. Next I have an eyeliner. This is the Essence Waterproof Eyeliner Pen. This is what it looks like. It is a felt tip. I really like the felt tip. I feel like it has a really nice density to it, a nice length and shape. This did do a really nice job, but it dried up in 2 months. Because this isn't a very wet, liquidy consistency, which some might like, some might not. I found that it applied very evenly. I didn't have to go on layer after layer, so I did really enjoy that. I think this is a great product. I was really bummed with how quickly it dried up, but I would contemplate repurchasing this. I am still on the hunt for my holy grail liquid liner since the Maybelline Line Stiletto formula has changed forever. So this was a good one, but I'm going to try something different. Next, I finished up 3 mascaras, the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir, Maybelline Colossal Chaotic, and the L'Oreal Telescopic Shocking Extensions. I think that these are all fine mascaras. I don't think that any of them are holy grail. I will not be repurchasing any of them. I love the way that the Marc Jacobs mascara made my lashes look. This is what the brush looks like, but this one smudged on me like nobody's business, and with how expensive it is, no, not worth the money to me. This is what the Colossal Chaotic wand looks like. It was great for volume. I absolutely love Maybelline mascaras, but I will not be repurchasing this one because there are other mascaras that I prefer. This is the L'Oreal Telescopic Shocking Extensions brush. Now, I think that this brush does a really great job of lengthening and separating the lashes, but I had a terrible time getting product to actually show up on my lashes. So I think this was fine. I don't get the hype about it. I will not be repurchasing this or any of these mascaras. Lastly, I finished up 2 lip balms. I finished the EOS Smooth Sphere in Sweet Mint. This is holy grail to me. I absolutely love the consistency because for me it is right between thick and thin. Absolutely love, holy grail, will repurchase. My last item is the Jack Black Intense Therapy Lip Balm in Natural Mint and Shea Butter. I think that this has a really nice texture. I like the way that it goes on. I like the way it feels on my lips. I love the scent of this. So if you're someone that reapplies lip balm a lot, I did not like this for that reason. I like to apply it once when I'm getting ready in the morning, and that's it. The EOS I can reapply, no problem. But because this one is that like liquid lip balm feel, I don't feel like I can reapply it a bunch. I don't quite understand the hype of this. I had really high expectations for this. It's nice, but I'm not gonna pay $8 for the full size. No thank you. I have another sample I'm using right now. I'm enjoying it, but I don't think I would repurchase this. So guys, that was my Product Use It Up 2016/Project 50 Pan update number 1. Update number 2 will be coming hopefully very soon. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know if you have done something similar on your channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.